Nonprofits do some incredible work in our community, and it's the tireless efforts of volunteers a lot of times that get out there and do some work that other people may not have the inkling to do, and that takes some resources. And another community nonprofit offering up some resources in the way of grants, and there are 3 grant opportunities that the Community Foundation for the Land of Lincoln is offering up. And joining us in studio right now is Stacy Reed and Haley Wilson from the Community Foundation. Good morning. How are we doing out there?
Good morning. Good. It's beautiful.
Good morning. Oh my gosh. And you can't go wrong with the Levitt AMP concert series tonight.
Right.
You've got 77
Perfect
degrees,
weather.
the heights, clear skies. Come on, give me a break.
Yeah. Perfect.
You can't go wrong with that. So Stacy, the Community Foundation for the Land of Lincoln, obviously an important integral part in our community. Tell us about these grant opportunities.
Yeah, it's a really busy season right now. So if you're a nonprofit in the Springfield area, we have 3 grant cycles that just launched yesterday. One of them is called Community Grants. Nonprofits can apply for up to $5,000 for any charitable purpose. So this is a very popular program. I think last year we granted to over 50 organizations locally, and gave money for anything from bricks and mortar projects to strategic planning to playground equipment. I mean, it runs the gamut. So nonprofits can apply for up to $5,000 for anything.
And how many of those are going to be available? Is that just one grant that's let?
No. This is a really interesting program. The donors who hold donor-advised funds at the Community Foundation are invited to review the proposals, and then they recommend grants based on what speaks to them that year. So every year is a little different. It kind of depends on what speaks to the donors. But the past 2 years in particular, donors have been extremely charitable. And like I said, last year, over 50 requests were funded. So it's a very great program. I encourage any nonprofit to at least put an application in to get your request seen by a lot of donors in the community.
So that's just one grant opportunity, one of 3.
Yeah.
Talk about some of the other ones.
Yes, the other 2 are more specific issue areas. So access to recreation is for accessible recreation programs. Nonprofits can apply for up to $3,000 for that program, and we may give a couple of those grants away. But some fun programs in the past, I remember going out to Hope School. They received a grant, and they did an amazing production of The Lion King, and it was really cool. The community was invited to come in. So programs like that are just really fun to see. And then Access to Recreation has also funded accessible playground equipment around town, and done a lot more of those kind of traditional recreation programs. And then our 3rd grant program available right now is the Historic Preservation Fund. Nonprofits can apply for up to $7,000 to help restore important historic properties in the community. So go online to cfll.org to learn more about the criteria. The deadline for all 3 is July 15th. So 6 weeks to apply. It's a really easy online application process. Just hope to see a lot of requests come in.
Well, and I'm looking forward to as well the announcement of who's getting these dollars, right? And the projects that they're going to use to bring to Springfield, be it for accessible entertainment, or be it for historic preservation, or just for a nonprofit to continue operations and the incredible work they do. That was Stacy Reed. Of course, Haley Wilson here with us as well from the Community Foundation for the Land of Lincoln. Haley, your role is to help people navigate what sometimes could be, I mean, if you've never filled out a grant application, you gotta fill out some things and make sure that the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, and that's kind of what you're there to help with.
Yes. So I am born and raised in Springfield, Illinois, and I felt like the next step in my career was to help with the community, and applications are hard. There's so many steps, especially for nonprofits, budgets and requests that you have to submit just to put in an application. So it really is a privilege to be working at the Community Foundation and to be able to help through this process, help with the programs, and see the results within the community for the programs.
So there are 3 grant opportunities here.
Yes.
And Stacy, as you said, you've got a tight-knit team at the Community Foundation for the Land of Lincoln. And Haley, I imagine that you're going to get a lot of questions.
Yes, it is I started right when the busy season started for Community Foundation, which busy season might be year round. I don't know yet, but the really busy season,
it's trial by fire.
Trial by fire, but I'm loving it. It makes the day go by fast, and it really is a good programs and a great organization to work for.
Well, and I was going to say, I mean, just the idea of helping all of these nonprofits out all throughout the community, and the Community Foundation being one of those integral parts to help fund these operations.
Exactly.
Stacey, if you could just, if somebody wants to give to the Community Foundation, can they give just into a general fund, or can they earmark for certain things, like they want to make sure that history is preserved, or they just they want to make sure that there's accessible entertainment or activities? Can they earmark these donations?
There's so many different ways to get involved in the Community Foundation and just be a philanthropist. That's one of the first things I learned when I moved back to Springfield almost 14 years ago. I didn't have a lot, but I was charitably minded, and I wanted to be around other people that cared about the community, but I didn't have a ton to give. So I chose to get involved in Young Philanthropists, which you give a decent amount. It's $125 a year to be a part of that giving circle, but you get around a lot of other people that are similarly minded. That group gives grants each year to programs that help children and youth in the community. And they're actually having a kickoff event July 21st that coincides with the Levitant Music Festival that evening.
I'm very excited about that.
We'll have to talk about that, because I mean, hey, why not?
I'm so excited.
We got to keep people informed of what's going on in the community, and this is a great avenue to do so.
So like Young Philanthropists is a great way for maybe younger donors to get involved in the Community Foundation. Otherwise, I'd really encourage people to go to the website and maybe look at the current funds that exist at the Community Foundation, see how people are giving, where people are giving, the different funds that have been established. If you really are involved in historic preservation or interested in accessible recreation or arts and culture, you can see what's been established. And if it hasn't been established, maybe think about getting an endowment started to support the issue area you care about. Arts and culture, I know, took such a hit during the pandemic. That's an issue area that I wish we had even more permanent resources for, so that we could ride, the hills and valleys when unforeseen circumstances hit. Hopefully, we don't go through another pandemic, but we could use a lot more permanent resources for those things we care about in the community. Check out the website. Feel free to call us. There's so many different ways to give, so many ways to get involved.
Again, it is the Community Foundation for the Land of Lincoln. 3 grant opportunities available. We're talking with Haley Wilson, who will be helping a lot of people get their grants filed, their applications filed, so they can possibly get these grants. And Stacey Reed, again, with the Community Foundation for the Land of Lincoln. Just give us that brief overview of the different grant opportunities there are, and the deadlines for when people need to get those applications in.
Yes, so there are 3 grant programs. Community grants, nonprofits can apply for up to $5,000 for any charitable purpose. Access to recreation, you can apply for up to $3,000 for accessible recreation programs or projects. And historic preservation, up to $7,000 to help preserve important structures or think through strategies for preserving structures in the Springfield area. All 3 have a deadline of July 15th, and all 3 you apply for on our website, cfll.org.
Well, very much looking forward to seeing who ultimately gets those grants, but also the Young Philanthropist program. Looking forward to getting more details about that as well. Again, Stacey Reed and Haley Wilson here from the Community Foundation for the Land of Lincoln. Thank you both for taking time with us here with the Morning News Feed.
Thank you, Greg.
It is Springfield's Morning News, now 8:50. And let's take a look at Springfield's 5-day dependable forecast with a high of 77, the low of 54. Mostly sunny throughout the day and then clear tonight. Sunshine continues Friday with a high of 79, into Saturday sunny with a high of 80. And then Sunday and Monday we do have a chance of showers with highs near 80. Right now it's about 65 degrees. The sun is out at 8:49 from Culver's west on Wabash.
Butterburgers and fresh frozen custard, handcrafted for you daily at Culver's.